Hello, I am Joni Jones, and I am here today with George Washington at Independence Hall in America's birthplace, otherwise known as Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Mr. Washington, can you tell us about what exactly took place behind these walls during your time on the Constitutional Convention?
Certainly. Behind these closed doors, many events occurred that led to the birth of our nation. In May of 1775, the Second Continental Congress met shortly after shots were fired at Lexington and Concord. It was here where I was unanimously voted without my knowledge to be Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. It was also here where we gathered to approve for a new resolution to independence. Later, on August 2nd, 1776, this is where we officially gathered to approve for a better government in the form of a constitution.
You said that you were unanimously voted without your knowledge to be Commander-in-Chief. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, at the time that the voting took place, I was managing my family's plantation in Virginia and serving on the Virginia House of Burgesses.
Oh, really? So was that a position that you felt you were worthy of taking?
No, indeed. I felt the opposite. I did not feel worthy of the honor. As I told Patsy, it was utterly out of my power to refuse this appointment without reflecting dishonor upon myself and bringing pain to my friends.
And while we're on the topic, it is well known that this position comes with a lofty wage. Is that something you can validate?
It indeed does, but I refused payment because I did not feel I was worthy of the honor.
That is very diplomatic of you, Mr. Washington, to put the needs of others before yourself. Can I ask who exactly Patsy is?
Why, Patsy is the pet name of my beloved wife, known to the public as Martha or Lady Washington.
Well, I want to thank you for elaborating for me and for your time today. I am here at the location of the former president's house where George stayed during his term as the leader of our great nation. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Washington.
Hello.
The first question I would think that is on the minds of our viewers is why the president's house and not the White House?
Well, you see, Joni Jones, at the time that I was elected, the White House was being constructed in Washington, D.C.
So why this house?
A colleague named Robert Morris from the Constitutional Convention gifted me the house to my family.
Why not a house in Washington, D.C.?
Many people may not know that Congress passed the Residency Act, making Philadelphia the home of the U.S. Capitol for 10 years. Since I was elected president at this time, it became the surrogate home for Patsy, our house staff, and their families.
Fascinating. I bet your house is full. So did you do the majority of your work in another location? Or did you often bring your work home with you?
There were a few major political events that came home with me, such as the drafting of the 10 Amendments and the improvement of the national banking system. I also ran the executive branch from the second floor.
Lady Washington, could I ask you a few questions?
Oh, no need for formalities. You may call me Patsy.
Okay, Patsy. I think what all of America is wondering, is George always this professional and stately?
Although my husband exhibits a natural reserve and dignity in the public eye, there is indeed another side to my loving husband. My husband is very much a man's man. He can get along with the most refined to the common man. At home, he is often quite relaxed and graces us with his ironic sense of humor.
I can tell by the way you talk about George is that you both share a deep love for one another. And just out of a curiosity, how was it that you two never had children of your own?
You see, my dear, there are many things that make a man a father. Although George was never a biological father to anyone, he was stepfather to my children and later to his grandchildren. He also stepped in and filled the role of surrogate father to his nieces and nephews. So your facts are incorrect, you see. George was a father in many ways, and an honorable one at that.
And may I add, father of our country as well. And I'd love to thank you both for elaborating for me and for your time today.